Welcome to another Down the Rabbit Hole video. Apologies that my last video, the title was a little clickbait sounding. It was about Punch-Out on the Wii, and when I did the title for it, I had thought I'll call it Trying Out Different Controller Configurations and Other Stuff. Now that wasn't a lead-in for people to come back and, oh, what's this mystery? What's he trying out? Basically, I don't really talk about Nintendo all that much on my channel. Got the DS here because, well, you know why from the title. But the reason is, A, I'm not that generation, and B, Nintendo tend to not like people talking about their games on YouTube. So really, as I was uploading the Punch-Out video, I thought, oh, that's right, they're probably going to stick ads or give me some kind of notification, aren't they? Luckily, they didn't, so I thought, right, I'm going to do that Nintendo video game on that Nintendo franchise. Maybe I'll do another one. The reason being is Nintendo are kind of in the news these days. Their stock prices are not doing too great. I think they've dropped 17 or is it 30%? I don't know. They've taken quite a hit. And I'm sure they'll be fine. This is a company that's been around forever and a day. They know how to survive and they will be a-okay. But given that they're actually newsworthy, I thought, well, let's be kind to Nintendo and do another video about one of their other franchises. I'm sure they don't need my charity, but I don't normally talk about them, but because they're in a little bit of trouble, I'll talk about them this time. So, the other franchise that I wanted to discuss, and you've seen it from the thumbnail, is Metroid, but specifically, I wanted to do Metroid Prime Pinball here on the Nintendo DS. This was actually because of a new game that just came out for all the other platforms called Yoku's Island Express, and it's where you're running around with this ball, and it's a pinball-like world. It's a really good game. I haven't bought it myself, but I've heard very, very good things about it. And on some of the podcasts where people were discussing it, they said, yeah, it's one of those thinking outside the box type pinball games, kind of like Metroid Prime Pinball. And some people in these podcasts are like, what was Metroid Prime Pinball? I never heard of that. And I thought, wow, nobody's aware of this really awesome game? Well, I'm going to do a video about it. Now, it's worth noting what comes in the box, because it's not just the game. You've got catalog and stuff. Here's the game itself, but it always came with this Rumble Pack, which is actually a really cool, unfortunately not very well supported, rumble feature that you plug into the bottom of your DS, kind of where the Game Boy slot was, and it gives feedback, and it's really well implemented in this game. I've got another game, Space Invaders Extreme or Deluxe or what have you, that also uses it. Really, really fun. And I think there were a handful of others, but unfortunately the Rumble Pack wasn't really used too much. So I'm going to put that in here, both the Rumble Pack and the game, and we'll fire it up and I'll show you Metroid Prime Pinball. Alright, here it is. Now there's actually a story mode to this, which is actually really well done. And I think once you've done the story mode, you then unlock all these different tables. Wow, I'm every single high score. I didn't even notice that before. Yeah, you basically, you unlock, there's only a handful of tables. I think it's like 4, which is the biggest disadvantage of this game. But once you've done so, you can play all 4 anytime you like. So let me do that. We'll go for a single mission. There was a wireless mission where if somebody else had the cartridge, the two of you could do these missions together. But I don't have anybody nearby, so let's just go with a single mission. So this is the first table, Pirate Frigate. Then you've got Tellin Overworld, which is like on a planet. Then you've got the Artifact Temple. And then you've got a handful of very small limited tables like Fendrana Drifts, Faison Mines, and Impact Crater. Then we're back to the Pirate Frigate. So let me show you this one. So, of course, Samus is well known for being able to put herself into ball form, and this is essentially her in ball form full time. I think she does change into herself for a couple of other parts of this game, but oops, it is generally speaking a pinball game. It's like Pokemon Pinball or Kirby's Pinball, which is on GameCube is really good. Sorry, Game Boy. I shouldn't be playing and talking at the same time. But yeah, no, it's really well done. I think I played the living heck out of this, obviously from those high scores, and really loved it. My one complaint though is I wish there had been more tables. I think there's, as I say, 3 main ones and then a handful of small ones, which I will show you here. You may occasionally hear a little clicking noise. That's the rumble pad working. It did have that disadvantage of being a little bit noisy. I guess whatever little vibrating engine thing they've got in there. Yeah, you can hear it there. It's it does have the disadvantage. I mean, it feels nice. It's not. We're not talking like rumble pack territory here for other consoles, but it does give a nice little sensation. Oh, there we go. There. Now she's herself. And she's got her gun out and she's shooting all the creatures up at the top of the screen. You don't want them to get too close. Oh, they got me. Nice use of sound. The stereo speakers of the DS are really working well here. Yes, you can play this on the 3DS, but because it's got that rumble pad feature... Oh, I'm going to finish that mode. You can click do special. Yeah. Definitely getting distracted by all this stuff going on. Extra ball! Oh, there we go. I should have hit B. Yeah, the rumble feature is a little bit... It's great feeling. Oh, I died. It's great feeling, but it does make for kind of a noisy, clicky sound while playing the game. Anyway, there's the pirate frigate. Now I'll show you that one that's like a planet. Here is the Tellin Overworld, which has got some nice rain effects and stuff. As I was mentioning earlier, the sound, the separation of the stereo in this is really good. It sounds great and it looks great. It's a very good pinball game. My other complaint, in addition to not having a lot of features, is the tables are very similarly designed. Like, we've got the same kind of ramp thing going on for these first 2 levels. I think the third one's different enough, thank goodness. But again, remember you have to unlock all this stuff before you can get to play it on sort of free mode or any time available. And that downside is it's probably unlikely that people would have gotten far enough in the game to unlock that third mission. In fact, let me do that right now. So here's the Artifact Temple. And this one's kind of, I mean, definitely a different sort of design. Ooh, listen to that rumble pack go. What am I doing in this one? Is this a multi-ball thing? Yeah. So you just got crazy multi-ball going. And I think there's Ridley, or at least Ridley's species up there. And, yeah. You see what I mean, though? This one's not like a full-on table. This is more like one of those special modes in a lot of video game, digital video game pinball games, like Kirby on Game Boy, have got these kind of like reduced map areas or playfields. Like, they don't feel like full pinball tables. And unfortunately, I mean, this one's okay, but it doesn't have a lot of goals to go for. It doesn't feel as good. Let's show you what the next one is like. Here's another one where you're just in this icy landscape and you've got this neat rock creature. But again, it's pretty limited. You don't have a lot of things to aim for on this map. And by the way, apologies if the last table had a lot of glare from the window. I'm trying my best to angle this so that you can see what's on the screen. but while I'm playing, the DS tends to move around and then it causes glare on the screen. Anyway, this rock creature then rolls around and hits me, and oh, well, that was very short. Yeah, not great. Now here's Faison Mines. This one's actually a little more like a proper table. This one's, you know, got a bit more depth than, say, that rock creature one or the Aztec, the temple, artifact temple before. But this is a very limited boss mode. You just want to take out the guy in the center. You're not really doing a lot other than just trying to get this guy. Oh, good. I got my, there's Samus herself. So let's get all that going on there. Yeah. Would have been very, very cool if this was a little more fleshed out. But unfortunately, it's not. Leaving us with only one more table. Now, this one's very cool looking. Like, look at that big monstrous creature at the top there. I gotta hit him and take it out. It looks really, really cool. I like what they've done here. But again, this is just a boss battle. So you've really only got like 2-ish tables. 2 that have got any kind of depth to them. And then these very, very cool short power-up induced boss battle type tables. They're not bad. Oh yeah, that purple thing restored my shield. Oh, I died. Oh well. Let's redo that one. Besides, I had a bit of glare on the screen anyway. There we go. That's better. Yeah, that creature is quite a thing to take on. Can't remember, there's certain areas you got to get to so that you can get the bits to defeat both the Metroids and also that boss, but I think I'm going to die again before I can get that far. Yep, I'm dead. Oh well. Anyway, so that is Metroid Prime Pinball on the Nintendo DS. It is a lot of fun. It's a really good game. I think it's a little bit of a wasted opportunity. Had there been half a dozen tables on here of like depth and things to play, I would have really, really loved it. As obviously proven by all these scores, I did play the heck out of this thing. But yeah, it's no Pinball Arcade or anything like that. It's got the bones of a really good bunch of table all dedicated for Metroid, and could have been quite an awesome game. It's good for what it has. Just wish there were more tables. Anyway, so there we go. There is Metroid Prime Pinball on the Nintendo DS, and here's hoping Nintendo managed to get themselves out of their current slump with their investors and their stock prices. I'm sure they will be fine. Oh, right, there was even a wall jump level. Now that I see it, I forgot that. Ha! Alright, well, until next time, we'll see you down the rabbit hole.